Good afternoon, Mercerville. As you know, today is Light It Up Blue, and we are here to celebrate Light It Up Blue for autism acceptance and awareness. So before we start, I would like to invite up Matt Miller for our Pledge of Allegiance. Would everybody please stand?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now Sadie Wolak will lead us in the Peace Pledge.
Please join me in the peace pledge. I pledge allegiance to the person. I pledge allegiance to my school.
All right, so once again, good afternoon and welcome to Mercerville's annual Light It Up Blue Assembly. We are here today to celebrate our differences, those differences that make each and every one of us special, those differences that make each of us who we are. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge a few people who took the time from their busy schedule to celebrate with us today. We have our Director of Special Services, Mr. Freund, here in the back. Welcome. And Mrs. Gulch, who will be putting everything on social media for us. All right, this year our theme is Inclusion Matters. The verb include means to be part of something. Throughout this year, we have talked about what that looks like and what that sounds like. I have witnessed many of you being inclusive by inviting others to play games with you outside of recess, sticking up for someone who is being teased, not laughing at someone when they make a mistake, or just offering a smile to someone that you pass. I have seen you make new friends, new students feel welcome here at the school, and that makes me especially proud. This afternoon, we have some teachers, parents, and a former student who would like to speak to us about what inclusion at Mercerville has meant to them. The first is Ms. Weingart, our special ed teacher in our 3rd grade inclusion class.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon, boys and girls. Wow, what an awesome, warm welcome. Listen, I gotta be a little honest with you. I'm a little nervous because I've never spoken to as many of you before as I am today. And that's a lot of eyes. You got a lot of eyes looking at me right now, so yeah, I'm a little nervous. You know, I was thinking about what I would talk to you about today, and I gotta tell you that my brain was a little rattled because I thought, gosh, there's so many wonderful things I could say about all of you Mercerville kids. Especially the fact that even though I'm nervous and if I make a mistake, I know that you guys will be super cool and understanding about that, right? Yeah. What about, I know your teachers, and I know I've said it to my students a lot about mistakes. What do mistakes help us with? Learn. They help us to learn, right? Am I right? Yeah, so it's okay to make mistakes, and I know it's especially okay to make mistakes here at Mercerville because, sometimes we make mistakes and that's okay. And we celebrate all the things that make us who we are, including those mistakes. So I got to tell you something else about me, that besides being so nervous, I have a little cue card just in case I forget something to tell you. But I also wanted to tell you how many years I've been a teacher. Anybody want to take a guess with a raise of a hand? What do you think? 100? Whoa! I wish, but I'm not that old yet. 20, she's close. I've been teaching 16 years. Yeah, and out of those 16 years, guess how many years I've been teaching here at Mercerville? Can you give me, it's between 1 and 10, so give me a show of hands. What number do you think on your hands? I know you know it. What do you think? It's 9. I've been teaching, 9 years. All right, give me 5. Give me 5. I've been teaching almost 10 years. Next year it'll be 10 years that I've been teaching here at Mercerville, which means I've actually taught in two other elementary schools before, besides Mercerville. And I gotta be honest, well actually I'll tell you a little secret. Those schools aren't as cool as this one. Yeah, actually, you guys, I love teaching here at Mercerville. I love it so very much because of your kindness, your acceptance, your differences, your uniquenesses. All the wonderful things that you all are make me happy to wake up every morning to come to teach here. So give yourself a little pat on the back, okay? Because it's true, it's really true. I love teaching here at Mercerville. I really, truly hope I get to teach here many, many, many more years. So another thing about me is that about 6 years ago, I guess, I didn't know anything about Light It Up Blue. I knew that April was Autism Awareness Month, but I didn't know there was such an awesome celebration to celebrate autism awareness and our uniquenesses. And we're celebrating today for a very important reason, not only to celebrate our differences, our uniquenesses, but also to celebrate all the ways that we feel included here at Mercerville. I'm so lucky to be included today during this assembly, right? And how many of you, just give me a show of hands if you like celebrating Light It Up Blue here at Mercerville every year. Yeah, isn't it awesome because it's that one day out of the year, even though we celebrate each other every single day here, it's that one day of the year I feel like this is kind of like a party, right? Our own secret little party. But I gotta give it up for a mom here who actually was the one who brought it to our attention 6 years ago. Because remember I told you before that I didn't know about Light It Up Blue. So this special mom came to us teachers and to Mr. Byrne and she said, you know what? There's a really special day that I think Mercerville kids would really like to celebrate because it's so special, it's so important, it celebrates all of our uniquenesses, our differences, all the wonderful things about us, that I think these kids would love it. So we listened, and we learned, and we created some really cool, fun activities, some nice decorations, so that we could celebrate with all of you. And that wonderful mom is here to speak to all of you today. All right? So, give it up for Mrs. Gerber. Give her a warm Mercerville welcome. Mrs. Gerber for the Light It Up Blue celebrations that we continue to have at Mercerville. So thank you, Mrs. Gerber.
Thank you. And like Ms. Weinhardt, I too am very nervous to be up here. But I know that it's more important to just step out of the box and give a little speech, and hope you guys like it. So, as Ms. Weinrod said, my name is Mrs. Gerber, and some of you know me from seeing me around school with PTA and making copies and whatnot. And others may know that I'm Harry and Mackenzie's mom from 3rd grade. And I also have a graduate from Mercer School, that's Stevie. And he's going to be talking to me in a little while. But like we were saying, about 5 or 6 years ago, I was at a PTA meeting, and I asked Mr. Byrne and the PTA if they've ever heard of Light It Up Blue. And I wanted to just say, hey, do you think we could wear blue shirts? Just to raise a little bit of awareness for autism. And I don't know why I didn't know that they were going to go, because once Mr. Byrne spoke to the teachers, the idea blew up. And that's the way things work here at Mercerville. And so not only did we wear blue, we showed videos, we sung songs, there were art projects, there were blue light bulbs and essays. And it wasn't just about autism, it was about accepting and including each other no matter what our differences were. So over the years, as this has gone on, we've heard so many kids open up and talk about how they feel included. And that made me so proud to know that just asking for you guys to wear blue on a special day has turned into this big thing where instead of a small group of you know about something important, so many of you now can learn about this. And when I go around town and, I run into Mercerville students, some of them might be college students now or high school students now, I notice one thing, and that is that they all want to include you. And I think that the reason that Mercerville is such an inclusive environment is because of the way our teachers teach us. And they include everyone. We have this awesome inclusion program with the classrooms with 2 teachers. And that's where we're all exposed to friends that might learn a little bit different than us, may be at a different pace, maybe they're a little bit shyer. But at Mercerville, it doesn't matter. Your friends are your friends, and everyone is included. And when you go to school at a place like Mercerville, including people, it just becomes a habit. And then that habit just carries on in your everyday life. Even as you're a grown-up, I learn different things from my kids in ways that they're including people. So when you go outside to recess and you see a friend sitting on that buddy bench and you walk over to him or her and ask them to play, that's inclusion. And when you go to the classroom and you know that maybe somebody's struggling and that second teacher is helping that child and working a little bit longer and you're patiently waiting, that's inclusion. And when you come to an assembly and you cheer on that friend who's a little bit quieter, who got brave enough to come here and speak in front of all of you, that is inclusion. And I don't know if you know it yet, but you're really lucky to have the teachers that you have here. Especially those second teachers in the classroom in every grade that are helping some of those kids get a little extra boost that they need. And I don't know if you know, but I'm grateful for them because they've cared and taught and included my kids. And when they model that for you, you're learning a valuable lesson that you might not even realize how important it is to include people. So every time this year I think back just about asking to wear blue, and I'm so proud of every year how much bigger and more important this day has become and how we can celebrate everyone. And so when I was asked to speak today, I was also asked if my oldest son Stevie could come speak to you about his experiences at Mercerville and how he felt. And I won't lie, just like me, he was a little nervous. And we talked about it. We talked about how important Mercerville is and how it's important for you guys to see how he felt about being included. So I want you to allow me to introduce Stevie, and thank you so much for having me here to speak to you.
Hello everyone, my name is Stevie Gerber. I'm a 7th grader at Crockett Middle School. I graduated from Mercerville in 2017. Mercerville was a great experience for me. It brings back many memories of teachers, parties, celebrations, fundraisers, friends, yearbooks, field trips, and the many things I learned. Sometimes I wish that middle school had some of the fun things that I had at Mercerville. I thank my teachers for helping me through my journey and turning me into who I am so far. Mercerville for me was different than any other school that I know of right now. From the fun stuff to the important stuff that will guide me throughout my future. As a kid, I learned a little different than others. I'm really thankful that Mercerville has a special program called the Inclusion Class with 2 teachers. Thanks to the Inclusion Class, I didn't need to go to special school or be held back a grade. Since I didn't need to go to special school, I could be with all my friends from my neighborhood, ride my neighborhood bus, and stay with many friends I made at Mercerville. Also, I wasn't the only kid in the inclusion class. Being in the inclusion class wasn't as embarrassing at all. It meant that you just got a little more help than some other people, but no one knew exactly who had special needs. But this program made me better at so many things. I learned and took part in the same things that everyone else in my grade was working on. Thanks to all my teachers, now I'm in Crockett Middle School, where I excelled at Crockett. I'm still involved in inclusion classes. I'm an inclusion ELA, but I need a little extra help, and it keeps me on track. This program makes me more confident in my schoolwork, which then allows me to try some new things and get out of my comfort zone. I think that so many students from Mercerville are so much better at treating everyone with respect, even though they may be a little different or need a little extra help. I think that is because for 6 years at Mercerville, every grade has had an inclusion program, so everyone in Mercerville, everyone in the school has made a friend a little different than them. That was no big deal. I was never bullied at Mercerville because the students around me didn't care that I may have been a little different than them. You should never bully someone for being different or in the inclusion class. They are just like you and are learning the same things as you. So there's no need to be ashamed that you are in an inclusion program because it's a great program. The extra help is going to make you smarter and be successful at your own rate. Being in the inclusion class will not help hold you back from following your dreams. It's just going to give you the extra confidence and knowledge so you can follow your dreams, be whoever you want to be.
Thank you, Stevie. That was beautiful. And I remember back, I don't remember what grade you were in, but your essay was chosen back on one of our days, and you got up here and spoke. And I remember your mother and myself and your teachers were all so proud of you then. Well, you've really blown it out of the park now. Good job. We have another teacher that would like to speak to us today, and that is our own Mrs. Ryan.
Stevie's probably a little taller than I am. I had Stevie in kindergarten. And some of them are like, in 2005, some of you were not even born yet. Probably all of them, right? Mrs. Festus came to Mercerville School to join me in the very first inclusion classroom in kindergarten. That began Mercerville School's 13-year commitment to special ed, general ed inclusion at every grade level. It was a new program, and Mrs. Festa and I had to figure out how we wanted it to work. One thing we knew, we were going to truly be an inclusion class with the goal that our class would be a community of learners. We wanted it to be seamless. We began team teaching immediately and decided that we would create a class that would be fair to all learners. These children, 13 years ago, went on to benefit from an inclusion class at every grade level with a caring staff that embraced this philosophy. Now, how many of you have been in a classroom with 2 teachers? You've been in an inclusion class. And if you haven't, I guarantee you by the time you leave Mercerville, you will have. As a result, all of you Mercerville students are immersed in the inclusion philosophy in all aspects of the school. You are accepting, you're caring, patient, and respectful of one another. You do not see differences, you see friends. Now I could go on, but oddly, last week, Mrs. Festa and I received a letter from a mom of a student who was in our very first inclusion class 13 years ago. So 13 years ago, he was 5 years old. So how old is he now? 18. So he is a senior at Nottingham High School. So I wanted to read this letter to you because the letter from the mom really says a lot about this program. So I'm going to read you the letter that the mom sent us. Mrs. Festa and Mrs. Ryan, I wanted to reach out to you to say thank you and let you know how my son is doing now. When you had him, he was incredibly difficult and very hard to manage. You, Mrs. Ryan, Mrs. Carney, and the rest of the inclusion team members set a very high standard of what a dedicated, caring, and compassionate teacher should be. I remember your words very vividly about not letting him be moved around. You kept a behavior chart that was updated in 5-minute intervals. Your patience with him was extraordinary. We never forgot that. He had some ups and downs since then, but overall he's been amazing. He's performed in every school play throughout middle school and high school, except 2. Now I have to tell you that some of the teachers, including Mr. Byrne, have been to the Nottingham plays and we've seen this student perform on stage. He's been on the track and swim teams. He also sang a solo in the choir as a sophomore. In the fall, he will be attending Johnson & Wales University, majoring in culinary arts. So he may be your chef at a restaurant when you grow up that you go to. When Mrs. Festa and I read that letter, we felt such a sense of pride. Mercerville's philosophy of inclusion and its amazing track record over 13 years has made an impact. I'd like to think that as a result of our inclusion program, great beginnings start here. I want to introduce you to one of our special guests and the parent of one of our students, Miss Ordonez.
Hi everyone. I feel like I'm a celebrity right now because all of you are here. So can you do me a favor? I want to feel even more like a celebrity by having a selfie. Alright, so good day. My name is Nikita Ordonez and I am the mother of Gavin. Gavin, say hi to everybody. Alicia. Say hi, Gav. Okay, so he's a second grader in Mrs. Ryan and Mrs. Festa's class. And so I will tell you a story today. Our family has moved here from the Philippines a year ago. Do you know where the Philippines is? Yeah. Do you know where Asia is? Yeah. Okay, to give you an idea how far the Philippines is, we have to ride an airplane for 16 hours. Okay, so I guess we just arrived last year. So I guess you can probably say that we are really in the transition stage, the time where we have to get used to living here, accepting that this is our new home, And if it were just me and Gavin's dad, then it would be easy, but having a son with autism is very challenging for us. It's a tedious process. So in the Philippines, Gavin used to go to a SPED school, wherein all the students have diagnosis. It worked for us since the teachers were sure to be well equipped with the knowledge of handling children like Gavin. But the downside of the setting was it gave Gavin less challenge academically. So my thought process was, at that time, I guess it's better than placing him in a regular school where kids would think he's weird and teachers will have a hard time dealing with him. But fast forward to November 2018, Gavin's Individualized Education Program, or IEP, was developed and we had to move schools. So according to the IEP, he needs a more structured type of setting, but a least restricted one. After contacting different schools, finally Gavin was accepted here at Mercerville Elementary. So a lot of thoughts ran in my head that time. I was so anxious. I thought to myself, Gavin will be in the inclusion class. He will be with other children with diagnosis and he will be with other children without diagnosis. So I wondered anxiously how it would be like. I feared for Gavin's social participation, how his classmates would react to him, and how his teachers will handle him. All these thoughts filled my mind, and I remember not being able to have peace of mind. I wasn't able to sleep that day. So we met Mrs. Ryan and Mrs. Festa together with Gavin's whole IEP team before Gavin started at Mercerville. And in an instant, with their reassuring demeanor and kind words, my worries were washed away. Who likes Mrs. Ryan and Mrs. Festa? They're so cool. So up until now, 5 months after that first day of school, I never thought that I would witness Gavin getting along with his friends, that he would really interact with them, not just during recess, but also in class activities. He would go home telling us, Mom, I helped a friend finish an activity. I was playing with Ben, I was playing with Cooper, I was playing with a lot of his friends. I can't even remember. So he would actually want to go to school. He would be really excited, and he was so rigid that I can't be late. I have to go to school. I have to dress up so fast. I have to take a bath so fast. And he was really excited to go to school every day. And I have only dreamt about other children playing with him without boundaries. I have only dreamt that he would get along with his classmates, or even hear him say, I have friends. So Mrs. Ryan and Mrs. Festa made sure that he's accepted, more so loved, the way he is. So academically, I knew Gavin has it in him. However, prior to him being in Mercerville, he was too dependent on me with regards to studying. He wouldn't do his homework without Mom. He always has to have Mom teach him. But now, he does his homework by himself. He does the scooping and the boxing thing that he do in foundations that I never know how to do. And he's like, Mom, you have to scoop this and you have to mark this. Okay, do it by yourself. And I could say that they were able to connect to him, Mrs. Festa and Mrs. Ryan, they were able to connect to him and make him grasp ideas through his own pace. And I guess you could say that I'm very overprotective of Gavin, especially in school. But being in Mercerville Elementary School, I can say that I have overcome that. The school has taught me to have a little more faith and think of what Gavin can do and not the things that he cannot do. So their patience, love, and dedication made Gavin who he is today. Well improved, happy, and eager to learn more. So thank you, Mercerville Elementary, especially to Mrs. Ryan and Mrs. Festa. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, well, thank you to all of our speakers. It was nice to hear such heartfelt thoughts, and I can't agree with all of you any more than possible. We're having a little technical difficulty today between our projector and our computer, so we're going to try to hook up our Light It Up Blue song to the cell phone. Because I think at this time you all need to do something. You've been sitting there listening, very nice, good audience, but we need to get you active. So we're going to sing our song. And do you remember what Ms. Weingart said about making mistakes when she got up to speak? You remember? And that how we help each other when they make a mistake? So I need you to help me. Gavin's mother got me so moved with what she said that I forgot we had another speaker. So at this time, and I apologize, our own Mrs. Thornton, who was PTA president forever, but then turned over to Mrs. Miller, but this is her last year here at Mercerville School. I have threatened, where's Jamie? I've threatened to keep Jamie back, just so she's still here for a few more years. But I didn't think Jamie would go for that plan. Her mother was Thornton. All right, so please welcome Mrs. Thornton.
We love Mercerville, because of all of you, right? Well, hello everyone. It is so wonderful to be here this afternoon to talk to you guys. Some of you know me as Mrs. Thornton, some of you know me as Miss Dina, some of you, I have to say this is probably one of my favorite when I walk into a classroom, some of you know me as the PTA lady, which is really cool, and one little one knows me as Mom. So I started here at Mercerville 12 years ago when my oldest daughter started in kindergarten, and I have seen the love and support of our community, and especially the dedication and the commitment of our amazing principal, our amazing teachers, and our amazing support staff. Can we give them all a round of applause? They are truly dedicated and wonderful here at Mercerville. So my oldest daughter
when she started here at kindergarten, she had a very difficult time adjusting. And, you know, anything new or different kind of, you know, got her a little anxious, and she struggled a lot. So she was very nervous to start kindergarten, as I'm sure everybody was, right? A little nervous starting something new, right? And I will tell you, I do remember the first day of kindergarten as if it was yesterday. We walked over to the kindergarten wing, everybody knows where it is, right? Outside, and my daughter and myself and our family was greeted with open arms and bright smiles by her teachers, Mrs. Ryan and Mrs. Festa. And I was told that my daughter was going to be in an inclusion class. And I'll be honest, I didn't really know much about inclusion classrooms or what they looked like, what they did. I knew they had 2 teachers, which was really great. And well, 12 years later, I know a lot about inclusion classrooms now and how wonderful they are. Mercerville, as Mrs. Ryan said, was the first school here in Hamilton to have inclusion in every grade from kindergarten to 5th grade, all in the same school. And I don't know if you guys realize, but that's really awesome, and you're so fortunate to have that here at Mercerville and to be able to experience that. And it has continued to prove why it is so special and how much it benefits all of our students here at Mercerville. The teachers in the classroom are a team, and they work together to make sure that all our children get the support that they need. And we have here at Mercerville the most amazing teams. So again, let's give them all a round of applause, guys. They work so hard, and you guys work so hard to make sure that everyone is included and we're all accepted for all of our differences, and we work together, because that's the most important part, right? We work together. So my oldest daughter did have to leave Mercerville for a few years, and she worked really hard, and she found her way back here. And everyone from the children to the teachers and the staff all welcomed her back as if she had never left. And that's what Mercerville is all about. She's now doing wonderful in high school and continues to succeed because of everything that she learned here at her time at Mercerville. As you walk through the halls here, you can see everyone's included. We have here at Mercerville, I look at all of the students and I see how wonderful all of you are towards your classmates. And when someone is struggling, what do? You help them. And when someone's hurt, you comfort them. And when someone is alone, you include them. We are all so different and unique in our own ways. And here at Mercerville, we welcome that, right? We welcome that. And I am so blessed to have been part of such an amazing school and a community. From the teachers to the students, you always continue to show us what the true meaning of acceptance is. You are all an inspiration, and for that, I thank you so very much.
All right, so now we've come to the student part of our program. In your classrooms, last week in particular, but kind of all through the year, you talk about character education and being kind. But last week we put a little more effort into it, and you did writing essays, or in the lower grades you drew pictures for the theme, you know, how I feel included at Mercerville. And so everyone did it, and the teachers looked at everything, and I asked them to pick one student from each grade level to represent their grade level at our assembly today. So we have 6 students that were selected, several of them to show us their artwork that shows how they are included, and the other 4 have written very meaningful essays that they are going to read to us now. So, at this time, could I have, representing kindergarten, Ruby Hawthorne, from 5th grade, Aurora Berger.
Mercerville makes me feel included when the teachers say good morning and when I say it back. Feel included at morning meeting because I'm greeted with a warm smile every time. My friends also make me feel included because they're always there for me. At recess, they make me feel included because I'll always have someone to talk to and play with. I mostly feel included when we share class projects because I love to present my work and everyone is supportive of it. A patrol job makes me feel included because it's something that I love to do at Mercerville. This school makes me feel included because we're all included. We're all independent, noticed, loved, unique, diverse, extraordinary, and different.
Thank you, Aurora and Luca. And next, representing 1st grade, is Violet Dugan. And 4th grade, Lucy Lawson.
Mercerville makes me feel included because I feel loved and unique. I feel loved because whenever I'm feeling upset because someone was annoying me or hurting my feelings, my friends and teachers do whatever they can to make me happy, and that makes me feel loved and cared for. I feel unique at Mercerville because when I was in writing class and I shared my writings with my classmates, they complimented my work and said it was original and they could tell that I wrote it, and that made me feel unique and special. I love being at Mercerville because you always have someone to turn to during hard times, whether it's your teachers, your friends, or even our president, Mr. Byrne, and that's why I feel included.
Thank you, Lucy and Violet. And from 2nd grade, we have Nathan Palumbo.
I feel included at Mercerville School when I feel loved. I feel loved when Emma, Omar, Adair, and Michaela help clean when I spilled crayons from my crayon box. I feel included when Mrs. Cafe is nice to me. Now I am not lonely at recess. I feel happy when other people are happy. I hope people feel loved all the time.
Thank you, Nathan. And our last student today, for 3rd grade, is Harry Gerber.
Mercerville makes me feel included in many ways. Some ways Mercerville makes me feel included is that I'm a part of the school, and I feel like it's home because everyone treats me the way I want to be treated. So that's why I treat people nicely here. We all have the best parents, teachers, and the best principal. I feel safe here also because everyone is fair and not a single person tries to hurt me at all. Everyone shows me respect, and I know that people show me respect here. I know I'm important to them. All the teachers give us more than one chance because we all make mistakes, and that is always true, and you could fix them. You learn a lot of stuff, like you learn a lot of stuff here, like being safe, getting smarter, and always to be kind and have a phenomenal life at Mercerville. We always do awesome activities like pie feasts with Mr. Byrne or fun run and field trips. PTA members are awesome, and one of them is my mom, which is awesome. When I first started going to Mercerville, I felt good since I had a lot of friends, so I wasn't shy. When I got the lunch star, I felt good because everyone was cheering and clapping for me, which made me feel like I just wanted about a competition, which makes me feel like a fantastic person. These are reasons I feel included in Mercerville. What are reasons you feel included here at Mercerville?
Thank you, Harry. And let's give one more round of applause for all of our student presenters. because you know they had to step out of their comfort zone a little bit to get up here and do that. And as your teachers have been telling you all year with our growth mindset, you have to feel a little uncomfortable if you're going to grow. If you don't ever feel uncomfortable, then you're not really growing. So always try and do those things that make us feel a little scared. So that moves us on. Every year when we do our Light It Up Blue, it's kind of the kickoff for the month of April, which is Autism Awareness Month. So every month of April, we do a collection of change, coins, whatever anybody wants to send in, and every classroom is going to have one of these snazzy little cans in it, all right? And that's where we're going to put whatever money comes in for Autism New Jersey. So we'll be sending a flyer home, letting your parents know all the details. But if you wanted to save a little money from your allowance, or if anybody wanted to make some donations, so don't buy snack one day and you decide you'd like to give it to help somebody that could use the help, that's what these cans in the room will be for. So we'll get those, 5th grade will deliver those to the rooms either today or tomorrow morning. I didn't really check this with the PTA, but every year they have given a pizza party to the class that raises the most money. And Mrs. Gerber's over there. She holds the purse strings for the PTA. So if she says we got the money, we got the money. So they give a pizza party to the class that raises the most money. So we'll keep you posted. I know we've been sitting for a long time, and you're an excellent, excellent audience. But I want to kind of switch gears just a little bit while we're all together, because we don't have a chance to all get together all the time. And I know that as I was checking all the report cards at the end of trimester 2, one of the things I look at is that little attendance box across the bottom that tells me how many times you've been out of school or how many times you've been tardy or late to school. And unfortunately, there's quite a few. So I thought we should really recognize the people that were here every single day during trimester 2. So that's about 60 days that they didn't miss a day of school. So each of them is going to get this fancy little certificate with their picture on it, all right, that says perfect attendance for trimester 2. I'm going to call the list of names of the people that had perfect attendance, and what I'd like you to do is just stand up where you are and stay standing up until I'm done. And then we're going to give all the people that are standing a nice round of applause. Please don't clap for every single person, and you don't need to come up here. We're going to have these delivered to your classrooms, because it'll be somebody's going to get stepped on if we try to move people around. So just when I call your name, stand up, and when I'm all done, we're going to give them a big round of applause. So, Karine Andre, Jeff DeAndre, and Derek, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say Derek A. in Miss G's class. Is he here? There he is. Jada Ashur, Grant Baruch, Jacob Baruch, Robert Bueller, Aurora Bergren, Stella Bittner, Tyler Brown, Aram Cisneros, Jenna Collins, Monica Crespo Gonzalez, Shayla DeLeon Ticum, Jefferson DeLeon Ticum, Gavin DeGill, Anna Demoski, Alan Gonzalez Calais, Lynn Regis, Preston Hood, Lucencia Innocent, Brian Innocent, Emelina Ireland, Billy Kohat, Gabriel Kundi, Lois Lawasu, Junu Lee, Elizabeth Levy, Jada Milan, Ethan Miller, Katie Novak, Liam O'Grady, Sonia Obermeyer Walker, Alan Olivares, Ryan Puskar, Michael Parkapone, Ryan Parkapone, Parker Roberts, Roland Scott, Simone Solomon, and Andre Stillamel. All right, congratulations. Thank you. Because you enjoyed singing the song so much, we're going to sing it one more time before we close our ceremony. All right?
Owen Sanders and 10 of his classmates recorded a song at Autism Speaks, urging the world to lighten up the World Autism Awareness Day. To learn more,
I would like to thank a few people for today's assembly. Ms. Weingart for kind of chairing the committee, and she went and bought all our decorations. And she had a group of teachers that worked with her, so I want to thank them. I would like to thank Mrs. Butler and Mrs. Bittner for making our lovely house. I'd also like to thank our guidance counselor, Mrs. Tormey. I know kindergarten and first grade, you weren't fortunate enough to be involved in our activities, but we, Mrs. Tormey ran 6 stations in here today, all morning, and each grade level came down. And they did various activities that simulated different disabilities so they could kind of get a little empathy or put themselves in someone else's shoes. So that everybody learned something. Excuse me. Remember, inclusion means respect, and respect is listening when someone else is talking. So it gave people a chance to kind of see what it was like to be a person with certain disabilities, and then get a little empathy or learn to live in their shoes a little bit so you can see it from their point of view. I'd also like to thank Mr. Delia for coming today to film us today. And lastly, I would like to thank each and every one of you. You are unique and you are special. Be proud to be you and continue to include everyone. So the only thing I would say is that we all have to remember that these kinds of celebrations are not a one-day thing. They only mean something if tomorrow we wake up and we feel the same way. and the day after that, and the day after that, and a month from now, and 6 months from now. So continue to show me that you know what it means to be inclusive and to include everyone. You're doing a terrific job. Thank you. Now, if you would just sit nice and quiet.